Okay, so we're excited for those of you that joined us. And like we've been recording them and putting them on in the group so you can reference them. Or if you know some of your team members haven't been on here and it could be helpful for them, then go ahead and send the link to them. So Ryan at convention, he talked about, and if you've ever heard him speak, he's like an electrician, techie type guy by nature. And so his every little talk I've heard from him gets really in depth about these things that kind of make your head want to explode because you just don't get them. But when he does it, he always has a good point. He always draws it back in some way or another. So he started talking about these beacons and I don't know, these like arrows of where he lives and what they meant and Morse code and all this stuff. And we're like, okay. But basically what he was saying was how you are a beacon. And then he laid it out into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different points as to how you're a beacon and what that means. So the first thing he talked about was standing for something. And that means, what are you standing for? What are people attracted to? Are you fun? Are you fabulous? Are they attracted to you because you own your own schedule? So you're able to make that work and that's attractive to people. Are they attracted to you because you enrich others' lives and you change others? What is it about you that they're attracted to? And when you kind of figure that out, you need to stand for that. So stand for something. What are you? The other thing he said was you need to stay connected. I mean, obviously, with our businesses, we're connected by phone, but we're also, and internet and technology, but we are also connected with people and with customers. I wanted to share a story that just happened yesterday to one of my friends that I've known for a long time. She's a LuLaRoe consultant. She just recently went through a miscarriage this last week, and she's really positive person in general. And she sees the humor in things too, but she's also open about what she's experiencing because she realizes that she may be able to help other people. And she got, no joke, at least as of yesterday, 3 different messages from different people sharing and messaging her about weight loss products and acne products and how they need to buy her product and they need to do this and that. And it was a good reminder to me, and obviously she has a good sense of humor about things, so she didn't let that get to her, but it was a good reminder to me that our customers are people. And I've always viewed the people that I come across as people. They're not dollar signs to me. And I think, Wendy, wasn't it you with the whole experience this last weekend as well? It's like people are people. You need to get to know them. If those people that messaged my friend really truly knew who she was and they genuinely cared about her, obviously they would know what she was going through because they would view her as a person and not a dollar sign. So we need to connect with people. And how can we do that? Events, parties, lives, which I love the live aspect online because it has allowed at least me to connect with people. Whereas when you were just doing parties in groups, which still work, there's kind of that disconnect, I think, a little bit. And the lives, even though, which I think my husband thinks they're kind of funny, because it's like, it's kind of one-sided, but hey, they can still comment like in live time. So it still works. You're still connecting. And he also mentioned connecting with your eyes. Like when you're at events and even those lives, like, are you looking off a lot? Or when someone walks into your booth, are you connected with them? Like, do you make eye contact with them? To let them know that you care and you recognize that they're there. And then you also just need to experiment with what works. Because the way I connect with people I know is different than the way that Tammy connects with people online, or how you interact with them, even your groups or in a booth or at home parties. You need to figure out what works. So, I mean, I've taken ideas from what Tammy has done and what some of you have done, and I've tried them. And sometimes they just don't work for me. because we all connect with people differently, and I'll get to why that might work in a little bit. The other one is to be you. People connect with people. They connect with people that they know and that they love and that they trust. Sometimes the product brings people in because they're like, ooh, I do like that. And then they eventually connect with you. But a lot of times they connect with you personally, your personality, what you may have said to them, that eye contact you made, a smile, which we'll talk in a little bit. They connect with you, and that's why they stick around. Have you ever had that customer that comes to you and asks, hey, do you have this piece? Because I saw it in another group or in a booth, but I would much rather buy it from you. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I actually do have that, or I can get it because it's very current, or you know what, I can't. And if you really want it, go with them. Tammy has shared some experiences to Rachel and I where people connect with you personally, and they will be loyal to you no matter how many outside influences that they're being bombarded with to come purchase from me, come to me. And that particular customer was not loyal to them. She didn't know them. And so it wasn't just about the sale to her. It was about connecting with Tammy. And be yourself. Try not to be something you're not. Because honestly, that just turns people away too. If you're trying to be something that you aren't, because at some point that's not always going to last, and then it just kind of falls apart, and people aren't sure if they should trust you or not. And one of the things I love, he said, be your best self. Be your best self. Put your best self out there and attract those that identify with you. So it kind of goes back to connecting with people and people connecting with you. For me, I know that I have never gone out and recruited a team member just to have a team member. They have all seen what I do and they want to be a part of it. And so they've all come to me. I could probably tell you and look at all my team members and tell you exactly where and how that all happened. Was it immediate? No, not always. Sometimes they just kind of stay in the background and they're watching you. And then they will eventually want to be your team member because they identify with you. They might like your values. There's a lot of consultants out there that are very much, a lot of their focus is how do I put this? Religious focus. They kind of go that route, and it attracts a lot of people that they're like-minded to them and love to think that way and go that way, and that's just one of the things that came to mind, that people love to identify with you. And some people shop around for team members. So just because you sell it and say, your neighbor has always known that you've sold it, but then they may go and sign up with someone else, and you're thinking, what? I thought they knew that I did it and I was their first exposure to it. What happened there? Well, if they may know you, they may or may not love you, and they may or may not trust you. Just because someone knows you doesn't necessarily mean it's a shoo-in for a new teammate for you if they decide to join. And so it's really important to be yourself, and what will happen is people that identify you will become attracted to you. And I had a thought with that, and it's totally left me. So we'll just go on to the next one because I can't think of what my thought was. The next one was, he said, be positive. You've got to be positive, and you've got to be positive in a lot of what you do. I understand that life gets to you sometimes and things happen, and it doesn't mean that you have to make everything to be rosy. But one of the examples so he said, compliment others. So you've got to think outside yourself. And this isn't just a business thing. This is like an everyday thing. Compliment others and compliment their choices. So if you see someone that just has this amazing outfit, compliment them on it. Or if they're being kind to someone else, point that out. And the more that you do this, the more that it starts oozing from everything that you do. And I know that sometimes this is hard for some people, is to compliment people or to look for the best in others. And sometimes we are thrown into situations that are kind of crummy. Like, I don't know if any of you have saw when I went to Las Vegas, my second leg to Las Vegas from Boise to Las Vegas, our plane was broken. And we were on the runway getting ready to take off, and it was broken, and they had to bring us back. And so we ended up being in the airport for a few hours. And yeah, I was antsy. I wanted to get to Las Vegas, but I realized there's nothing I could do about this. So I chose to be positive, and I ended up getting to know this 80-something-year-old lady. She was the sweetest little thing, and I started just really getting to know her, and she was getting to know me, and I learned a lot of things from her. And I started noticing the people around me and the helpers that were around me and the good that was around me, even though I could have been really frustrated, and most people could easily be frustrated in airport. It's the same thing with like events. You just have to make that choice just to stay positive and to roll with the punches. Or with live parties. There was one live party not a while ago that the power went out 3 times when I was doing it. And I just kept jumping back on, and my customers and friends just kept jumping back on, and it just became comical after a while. So you've got to just stay positive in situations like that. Or home parties, where my most frustrating home party was probably about 5 years ago. And this lady decided to have it on a Wednesday. She was determined to have it on Wednesday, and I never had them on Wednesdays because it was hard for my family. But she was so determined to, and I decided, okay, I'll have it on a Wednesday. And I get there, and she is religious, where, same as me, where a lot of activities fall on a Wednesday. And I realized that once I got there, and I was like, yeah, no one's going to come to this. Most of these people have all these youth groups and these activities on a Wednesday. And she assured me, oh, yes, they're all coming. Well, she didn't realize there was the young women on that day were having a big thing where their parents were invited. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So anyway, it was her and I the whole time. And I decided to stick with my commitment for the 2 hours that I was there, because I do that. I stick to my commitments at events and things like that. And I decided to stay positive. I could not stand her children. They're driving me nuts. And she ended up buying, by the end of it, 12 pieces on her own. So I was like, okay, well, that worked. But that was one of those situations where I could have really let that get to me. I could have stormed out of there and said, you know what, see you later. This isn't worth it if no one's going to come. And so you just need to stay positive, because you never know where those things are going to lead. But you also need, he said, you also need to stay positive about accessories and about yourself, which is huge. And the part about the accessories, when I was thinking about this, going over my notes again, you just have to stay positive. Sometimes I hop into those bigger groups and I see people get on these rants about, my order, I had, 5 pieces out of 50 pieces all broken, and la 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 la. And they start chattering about this, and they start chattering about the quality, and they start getting frustrated about this, and then they get other people going, and it's just this never-ending thing. And Tammy and I could probably tell you that it's been this issue since the beginning. But I can tell you how many times I've had broken pieces, which isn't very often. I've been doing this for a long time, where most of them can either, it's just a simple fix, or, you know what, it just ultimately is not a big deal. But some people get so hung up on stuff like that. And so you have to continue to be positive and try not to go down those roads where others may try to drag you, and you can get caught up in those really easily. Or same thing with events and home parties. It's all the same. And you really need to be positive about yourself, that all of you guys are so capable of doing so much more. I know for me, it's just getting out of my own head and just working past that fear of what ifs that I have, and just try new things. So I got my convention accessories. I think I ordered, what did I tell you, Tammy? Like 151 pieces or something. And I kept messaging Tammy and Rachel, oh my word, I sold over half. It keeps going. They keep buying. It was crazy. And what happened was, I didn't have time to I didn't do a live. I just decided to post it to my wall like Tammy does, which I don't, It kind of drives me nuts. I feel like it's not organized, but I decided to do it with this particular box. And people, my customers, responded to it like crazy. And it was so fun and exciting. And so sometimes it kind of goes back to experiment to figure out what works for you and try new things. And just be positive about yourself and give yourself more credit than what you have. And stop trying to get down on yourself like, it's not working, it's not working. Just try something new. Just keep going. He said, you are a beacon. So put out positive vibes. If you're always stuck in the no one's buying from me, or this isn't working, I've tried lives and it's not working. Well, maybe lives aren't working. Maybe it's the time. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's the angle of what your video looks like. Maybe it's the feeling that your customers or your audience always feels like you're pushing the selling part of things, which I don't. On a live, if I'm talking to myself, I just keep talking to myself. Someone will eventually pop on. Are you smiling? So the last thing that he said was, are you smiling? That makes a huge difference. You need to remember to do it. It doesn't come easy to some people. Maybe it doesn't come easy to you. And it can make a huge difference. So when we were at convention, Rachel and Ashley laughed at me because I was like, I'm going to try to smile at people and try to get them to smile back just to see what they do, because apparently people in Las Vegas don't smile. Like, they're all so serious, unless you're like at a convention or something. Like those people that are just like walking on the strip just to get somewhere. I don't know. Like everyone was on this little like mission somewhere and they just don't smile. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to smile. And I was doing it a lot to the workers that worked there. I mean, it may have just been the guy changing the trash can or the guy cleaning out the conference room where we just had lunch. And I was smiling at them. And it was kind of interesting because they would like look at me kind of like, is she really smiling at me? And then they would like smile back at me. And you could tell a lot of people don't really acknowledge them or smile at them. And it was a really fun challenge. So challenge yourself to smile at people everywhere you go. But also, if you're doing lives or events or home parties, make sure you're smiling. Make sure you look happy. Because there's someone I know from another company, and she's always putting pictures on her profile, about how strong she is and empowered and how wonderful things are, but she never smiles, I noticed in her pictures. And so I'm like, I don't know. It just seems really interesting to me because it's like, are you truly, the sun is like in my face, are you truly like really happy? Like, is this business really working for you? Are you really happy? I don't know. A smile can go a long way and it can mean so much. And then he said, be consistent. Be a consistent beacon at the top. So especially if you have a team, be consistent and lead your team in just these basic things, and a lot can happen. So be yourself. I guess my biggest takeaway was be your best self. Others will notice that, and both your customers and your team members and just everybody around you. Because I can later talk about Jason Hewlett, one of the keynote speakers. His was basically talking about how everybody is your audience. Everybody, everywhere. Your audience isn't only your groups or your profiles or the people you happen to meet at an event or a party. I mean, it's everybody in the community, everyone you come in contact with at church, at school, at the dentist or doctor's office. Everybody is your audience. And so be your best self and remember to smile and that people are watching you. And that's what I loved about it. So that was my takeaway from his. Does anybody have any comments on that or insight?
Off mute.
Here, I just took it off. You can do it yourself.
Oh, we can?
Yes, you can.
Ooh, fabulous.
Yes, you can do it.
Good points. Good points. I think consistency is huge. I have found that both with my customers and with my team. Very much so. And it doesn't take much for the inconsistency to catch up with you.
Oh, no kidding.
Even from a customer, like I was worried about going to camp for 3 days because people they just are used to the consistency. I'm like, should I have somebody like do something while I'm gone? I'm like, I'm going to let myself have 3 or 4 days. It's going to be okay. And it has been okay. But if you go like, if you are not consistently feeding your group the little products, the little bit of fun that you do, it will just slide the wrong way and it starts sliding quickly. So I agree with consistency. Consistency is a big, big factor. Even if it's just little bits every day, little bits every day. It doesn't have to be huge, but it has to be something every single day. That's been part of what I've found. Yeah.
I agree.
I've tried both ways. That's why I know.
And consistency is paying off for you.
Yeah, it is paying off.
I was worried about that too for convention because I was going to be gone a week, but my customers were telling me that they were saving their money because I kept prepping them ahead of time that I was going to have these pieces that I was going to come back with, and I think that's why my convention box was so successful because they were ready. They were so excited, and these were pieces that honestly I don't know if we'll ever see again because I know a lot of them sold out at convention. And so we may see those same pieces, but we may see them in different colors. And so I was kind of letting my group know that. But when I was gone, I was also giving them little bits and pieces like, oh, this is my black and white gala outfit that wasn't even black and white. But anyway, it was blush and black. Here's my outfit. You know, here's the accessories I'm wearing. Or here's some of the fun we were doing. Like I was letting my customers know that. And here's some things that we might see in the fall. Just to kind of keep that consistency like you said. And like right now, Mondays, I always do fresh from the box orders. It's always a new order every single night for my lives, and my customers know that. And I'm kind of worried because I didn't get my order. Like I think their shipping all of a sudden got bogged down again. Because I ordered that.
I was wondering. I'm missing an order too.
Oh yeah, I ordered that like the beginning of last week, and it has not come yet. And so I think it comes Thursday. I don't know, sometime this week. So it's not here, so I'm kind of panicking. I'm like, do I cancel my fresh box? But then I'm like, no, my people are excited. So I might just do a 30 and 30. Just something enough that it's quick because I just got most of their orders out from the convention order. But it's just something to keep that consistent time slot going.
Right.
I know a lot of them have set their time alarms or their schedules. They've pretty much planned around it. And so consistency is huge. For sure.
It is huge. What are we time-wise? We're not going to get cut off, are we?
I haven't gotten the warning yet.
You what?
I haven't gotten the warning yet. So
okay, because I just want to, can you,
like 12 minutes.
Okay, or can you extend a little bit? Okay. We got 12 minutes? Okay, good. I just wanted to give them some time for Q&A so we could turn that to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are up. Hi, Tiff. Hi, Tiffany. I have not met you before. Whose team is Tiffany on?
Tiffany is Meg's, I think.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Are you on Meg's team?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, girl. Glad you're here.
So we wanted to, school is starting or has started for a lot of you or some of you. And so we kind of wanted to go into just a discussion about back to school type ideas. Some of the ideas that I've seen that I'm debating on implementing or thinking about implementing was, and some of you might have this, is a tax-free, like does your state have tax-free state? Lindsay, you're saying yes?
Yeah, ours was last weekend.
Oh, so you missed it.
No, actually.
Okay.
Yes, I did that.
Did you do it? The tax-free thing? In conjunction with that? How did that go?
Pretty good, you know. Everybody likes to save a little bit, so.
See, our state doesn't
I
do
definitely
that,
recommend it.
Nice. So I don't know if you're not in one of those states, there's states that they set aside like certain weekends or certain days where a lot of your back to school type products are tax free, which is amazing that they do that. Idaho does not do that. But I figured at some point before school starts, for me up here, that I will do something like that probably.
We got a male voice coming in. I'm not sure who's got it coming in from their side, but maybe mute on that end, just because we are recording. Do you guys hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
It's kind of spooky. Kind of Harry Potter-y. been Harry Potter weekend over here. I've been watching. It's spooky. You know.
It's spooky.
Yep, that's a good idea. I'm having a back to school party as well on Wednesday. I'm just gonna do fun little, I don't know. We're gonna just talk about the colors of the crayons, and we're gonna talk about colors and kind of do some fun stuff like that. It's still in my head. It's still just pouring out. We'll see what happens. It's still in development. So,
Are you doing that online or in person?
that'll be on my live on Wednesday.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
So-
Is that better, you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hear the voices in my head anymore. That's good. Woo, woo.
It was my boyfriend. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No worries. Tell him we said hi.
I will.
That's fine. Yep, we're good. We're good. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's just something I'm gonna be doing. Like, yeah, something.
Teacher or not.
What questions do you guys have? Anything about convention? Anything about schools? What do you guys take it?
I was just going to say about back to school. There might be some opportunities with local PTAs. Some schools do events, or some schools need fundraisers, so that might be another opportunity as they're gearing up. And then I love tonight's topic. It's been on my mind a lot because I watch Tammy's videos and I'm like, dang, she knows how to party, and I don't know how to party.
She does.
I love yours. I love yours.
She's got music, and you can tell that she is having fun. And I think maybe people can tell that I'm excited and I love it, but she's having fun. And then I'm like, oh, I suck. I'm not going to go live. But so I love that. I love that you stress that we have to be ourselves, like what
Yes.
like Christy was saying, that she'll look at what other consultants do and even talk to other consultants probably about what they do and try new things. I can't be Tammy though.
No.
And I can't be Christy. Christy's like super confident, super like cool, even if nobody's watching. I don't know. I get very nervous when I see no one's watching. I get very nervous. And so then I try to Anyway, I don't have to be Christy, and I don't have to, I keep seeing Rachel. It says that you're Rachel. I don't have to be Tammy.
Right.
Today, I don't know if you guys follow the founders on Facebook. If you don't, you should. They do like a little motivational Monday thing. And I posted it on my group because it's been on my mind a lot. And theirs today said, by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. Like, I can be wonderful and not be Tammy, right?
You know,
Of course.
so funny
Right.
because I told you this before, but I met you before you met me. I went and found you before you even knew who I was, and I loved your videos so much
Oh, goodness.
that I posted you on my team page as an example of an outstanding video. And see, you didn't know that, but I was impressed by you. And so you didn't know, but I was watching and following you, and I was watching. I've been learning from a lot of people too. So it's funny how we think that we are comparing ourselves against what we feel inside and our scaredness. Trust me, I had to go to bed my first couple of videos. I had to go to bed. I was sick. I was sick with nerves. I was sick. Okay, I wasn't funny at first. I was an idiot. I had something falling out of my bra the first time. It was embarrassing, but I was sick. I'm not kidding you. So and now I've just learned to find the humor in that when you're live, it is funny and you're going to knock that camera over and things are going to happen and you got to be able to laugh about that because, and like, why not throw the music in? And so for me, that's just where my natural state goes. Your natural state, Lindsay, is classy. You are classy and you have a presence that I will never have. And I admire that. And I wanted my people to see, like, that is amazing. You have this gorgeous, like I looked at your setup and I'm like, oh, that is nice. Mannequin, I didn't have a mannequin. Yours was the first mannequin I saw. And you inspired me to get my mannequin.
I copied someone else.
Okay.
But
well,
it's working, obviously.
And you know what? It's just so funny because you know what? I wanted to be like you. And it's funny, but you know what? you don't want to be like me. I'm already taken. I don't want to be like you. You're already taken, and your customers love you. I would probably drive them crazy because your customers are drawn to you because of who you are. They wouldn't be drawn to me. Does that make sense? They'd be like,
Right.
she's driving me freaking out of my mind. Do you know what I mean? So that's why we all have individual draws. Does that make sense? And that is what makes it so great, you know?
I hope all of you are working on going to convention and you have your plans made, because that is one thing that I turn to Ashley and Rachel, turn towards them at one point in convention, and I'm like, you realize when you're there, it takes all types to make the businesses work. Like
it's so surprising.
I mean, it is really surprising.
It is surprising.
Go there where you're like, wow, okay.
Mhm.
Like, it takes all types to connect with other people. It really
And it
does,
can be
because I'm pretty
done.
sure some of those people's customers just aren't going to connect with me.
Right.
But
And it
they
can be
totally
done by
connected
all
with
types.
them. And convention is a great place to see that it takes everybody. And what they're probably doing, honestly, in their businesses, they're just being consistent with what they're doing, and they found what works, and they run with it, and they tweak a little along the way. And that's really the key. And like, this year is when it just really hit me hard. Like, that's what it is.
It is.
I mean, you're going to say it like over and over because that's really what it is. But convention was a place that really opened your eyes as to it takes all types.
And it can be done by all types. It can be done by all types.
It can.
You can create your crowd and your following in whatever realm you're at. You really can, because your friends and your family love you. And what you're bringing to the table, they're drawn to you. And more people will be drawn to circle that are drawn to that. They really will.
At convention, they're not going to say, do this, this, and this, and this, and you'll be successful. They'll give you trainings like this to just like improve your life and confidence. They're not going to say, step 1, step 2, step 3. And so, like us, who have teams, we can't tell you exactly what to do either. You just kind of get to experiment and play and have fun. That's what we are all doing.
Right. Well, my theme song came from convention last year. It's Try Everything by Shakira. I listen to it every day. I hit roadblocks all the time. And I just turn around and I start singing a different song, and I sing it again, and I turn it up loud and I sing it again. I'm trying stuff all the time. And there's stuff that I'm like, what was I thinking on that? But then something else might work. And so I just keep trying and I keep trying and I keep trying because I want it. And I'm eager for it and I'm ready for it and I'm ready. And so that's where my heart lies. And that is what has brought me the success. And I'm barely just feeling some success from it, but that is why I'm moving again. That's why I'm moving again.
Good.
And we'll have to talk about, her name was Robin, and she was the other keynote speaker. And I'm trying to think, she is a firefighter in San Diego, and also I gotta get this right, a world champion adventure racer.
Wow.
So they do all these extreme challenges like leech-infested jungles and Tibetan mountains and all these like extreme challenges. And hers was all about teamwork and how you've got to look beyond like, oh, you're a newbie, like you don't have a whole lot to offer. Well, I'm an A-lister, and I know everything. And she was basically saying, throw out the ranks, like put that aside, because everybody has something to offer. And hers was pretty amazing too, and we can touch on that some other time. But
1 minute mark, just kind of give us a
because the minute mark is starting to hit there, and it's going to go really fast. So
I think Mandy's Mandy's a perfect example of that. And I think any of these leaders who were at smaller positions and said, I'm going to find my own way and trailblaze, that are perfect examples of, I don't have to follow that path. I'm going to find what works for me, and I'm going to blaze my own trail.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
exactly. So we'll kind of end with there, and just remember to smile and be your best self. And also look ahead, guys, because there's back to school, there's going to be homecomings, people are going to be getting into spirit weeks and things, so think of those colors. Just think of all of those things that are going to be
School colors.
Yes,
School colors. I started selling school colors over here today. I'm like,
even
oh, yes,
Halloween
school colors.
costumes, lanyards for teachers. Then the holidays are going to be picking up, and we obviously can talk later about that. But start thinking ahead and work your business and figure out what you can do to be consistent in your business and just run with it.